Right.
Yes. I just wanted to close this up before we went on to her.
Yeah.
He knows I can come back next week too, or next time we meet if you guys need me to, if you want to have immediate dialogue about this.
Yes.
Go ahead. I
Okay.
think that's fine. You can share.
Okay, I'll just share a little bit because I know we don't have a ton of time left to give you a sense of what's happening at CU Denver. But like Christina, I have a grant through Early Milestones for a recruitment, retention, career path focus. And that grant is being implemented in partnership with 3 providers in Denver. Right now, we're in the 2nd year of funding. And we've created a cohort of 20 working educators. So most of our teachers have been in the field for 10, 12, 15 years. So that's one set. The other set are brand new to the field. And they came in as an opportunity to be recruited without an early childhood teacher qualification, and they could get it through this 1-year grant. And so what we are doing is we're partnering with the coaches that are working in those programs. Most councils, as well as most early childhood programs, as you all know, have coaches that are working intimately with teachers on their practice. And so what we're doing is we're designing the coursework right into those coaching experiences. And so we had a group of 20 we had about 35 educators apply initially. We chose 20, and the providers themselves selected those teachers based on a lot of different criteria that mattered to them. They also identified who they wanted on their staff to be the adjunct faculty working with myself and a colleague of mine. All of the courses are paid for through this grant, so teachers and providers don't pay anything. And in fact, we are paying the coaches a significant amount of money for their time. So providers are benefiting directly with some compensation to support the coaching happening in their schools. Teachers come in with a variety of course backgrounds. Some of them, as I mentioned, don't have any ECE experience or coursework at all, and others have almost all of their ECE courses. So the important piece of this has been to design the cohort experience and keeping the group of teachers together in a professional learning community, even if they're taking different courses. So we last year had about 12 different courses that we taught, but we were able to align them and make sense of them for students in the shared PLC. So teachers don't have to take a course that they don't need just because the rest of the cohort is at that place in their career path. You probably know that if you take 4 ECE courses, 2 of which need to be certain courses, you will be ECT qualified. So that was a real incentive for some of our providers to be able to bring on new teachers that they wouldn't have been able to offer a position to. All of our teachers are working in classrooms, and during this pandemic, it has been the feedback that we're getting from them is that these course experiences have really helped them to create quality experiences for children and to become flexible and to learn and to adapt and to apply the content that they have access to through the course into their daily life in the classroom in very relevant and rigorous ways. So Early Milestones was willing to fund us for a 2nd year. This 2nd year, we are moving into some non-ECE courses because again, our goal is to get teachers all the way to the BA, because we believe that the BA not only elevates their teaching, there's a lot of evidence that directly connects a BA in early childhood to quality experiences for children in classrooms, but it also elevates their overall life experience, their overall pay that they'll make throughout their life, and just their life outcomes as a teacher are much richer when they have their BA. So we will be moving this year into a math course and a digital learning course that aren't ECE prefix courses, and we're going to be delivering those on site to teachers while they're working. We aren't doing things outside of work hours, so we're trying to use like either a lunchtime or maybe right at the end of the day or early in the morning for our PLCs. Access to higher education, as you all know, for many of our working teachers is almost impossible. If they have their own children, if they don't have funding to go back to school because they're not making a living wage as it is, and they can't pay for the tuition in many cases. But even small things like transportation or not having the right transcripts that will articulate into a 4-year degree program. We're working through all of those barriers with our cohort and learning a lot of great lessons as part of that work. We are already expanding to begin to offer this place-based BA outside of the 3 provider sites that we piloted it in. In fact, we had we partnered with the Boulder Early Childhood Council to put in a proposal this last year for a cohort here in Boulder County. We were going to try to work with FFN providers. Unfortunately, that wasn't funded. But Matt put in a proposal with the city of Longmont that, you know, there's some possibility that there could be some funding coming through there. So we'd really like to create at least one cohort in Boulder County to see how this could work here and to really leverage the great coaching and professional development work that's happening. Another thing that I didn't mention is we're bringing PD experiences in for credit, and not just credit as electives, but credit as actual counting toward a course that would be in their program plan. So all of these little nuances of what has been, has created frustration for teachers or has helped made them seem like they're never going to get their BA. We're trying to work one by one to address those and create a cohesive pathway for working teachers to not only get their BA while they're working full time, but to enrich the learning for children and for families in classrooms while we are doing that. So that's just a quick rundown on our grant. There's also a big grant that CU Denver just received, a multi-million-dollar grant from a national funder called the Early Education Investment Collaborative. And in that grant, we are the lead agency bringing together all institutes of higher ed in Colorado, specifically working with 4 to start with, but really bringing everyone together to develop similar innovative pathways to make sure that our ECE workforce has access to an AA and a BA. And I can give you a lot more detail about that in a next meeting if you want me to, and kind of what's happening in terms of that work. Questions?
Rebecca, so she can take a breath.
I know, I was trying to go fast.
Rebecca, I have a real quick question. Is this in any way connected to the pathways to teach the program that's in the high schools, or how does that fit in with this?
Yeah, thank you, Elena. That's a great question. So we also have the concurrent enrollment work that's happening, and St. Vrain has a very great program for juniors and seniors in high school. And now they have another program to work with paraprofessionals in the district that is being delivered on site, but those paraprofessionals are only working they can only work part-time because the courses are still offered as traditional college courses. So we're actually I'm working with Wendy and Nicole, who are the faculty on that grant, to try to create more of the place-based pedagogy within that so that it can be happening right while teachers are working with children, and we can leverage coaching the same way that we are in the place-based project.
Right. I think it would be a good idea to kind of map out everything that we're doing in this area as it relates to capacity building, and look at all of the resources that we're putting kind of either countywide or you know, specifically I'm interested within Longmont how that looks, because I think that there's some opportunity to really create that pipeline or that continuum, because we are finalizing a contract with the well, God help me, the Front Range Community College Education Foundation, right? To have some scholarship funds for students at Front Range. So I think it'd be really interesting to serve us well to map out all of those different opportunities, and have that as part of a portfolio, if you will, or as part of a package, whether it's a grant opportunity or a funding opportunity or something specific that a particular organization is doing. We might want to look at creating a subgroup to do that.
I think that's a wonderful idea, because I think, you know, we've fortunately been able to get a lot of reciprocity between Front Range and CU Denver so that students can come in either one, and our classes will articulate both places, and being able to show that so students ultimately have a lot more choice. I think is really helpful, and that where they can see, so they can see where they can go next. If they're working full-time, if they're working part-time, if they want to get their AA, or if they want to, they know they want to get their BA. And I would love to support that, Christina.
Okay.
Rebecca, this is Tim Waters. Thanks for bringing us the information in your time. I would like to, I'd love to see the follow on to what Christina's suggesting right now, especially as it folds into our plan, right, to build capacity specifically in Longmont. And Matt, I think I'm going to